Sitting in my foxhole, sharpening my knife. Oh, jumps the enemy. I had to take his life, lock and load, pull the trigger, shoot that son of a woo, air, boom. Oops. I'm live. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to this special edition of Q Wilson's podcast. Today, I will interview a special guy. He's a pillar of the community of Baltimore. He has been in the Army for, I think, about 10 years. He is also an officer of the goddamn law, so you don't fuck with him. So, before I bring him on, please hit the like button, share it, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And now, further ado, I'll bring on Officer Charles Faulkner Jr.
Woo! What's
Huh?
up, everybody?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
What's
How are
up,
you doing?
Q?
I'm good.
Chilling,
Okay. Okay.
chill.
Well, I thank you for coming on to my little stream, and out your busy schedule and things like that. So I appreciate you for taking your time out.
No problem. No problem. I'm
Yes.
just sitting
So
here walking my silly ass dog. I was about to walk. I was about to walk the cat too, but the cat's the tougher one to deal with.
oh yeah, I seen your cat. Your cat is tough. Your cat is tough as hell.
Anytime
Yeah.
we can make a
So
pit bull sleep where he doesn't want her to sleep, we make a
yeah,
move.
yeah. So I just recently started my YouTube channel. I just posted
Uh,
several videos.
oh man,
About myself.
Send me the link to your channel, man.
I got you. I got you. I'm sending it to you right now as we speak. And I'm also going to send you the link to this video we're doing right now. So if you want to share it on your side, you can.
Of course, of course, of
Yeah.
course.
So I have been doing about, I think you my 15th video. I did.
Hey,
And
we always remember our 15th, don't we?
yes. It's the first one, and now I'm on the 15th. I was like, wow. I was just doing this for fun, and now I'm doing something. I'm getting decent views. Started off with 2 subscribers, and now I got over 103. Trying to break that 1K mark. You know how that
Oh
be.
yeah, oh yeah. That's the mythical YouTube measure of video subscribers. So how's the army life been
Yes.
treating you?
So I just sent you the link. It's swell. It's swell, but should have went to active duty, but that's near here or there.
Well, it's never too
It-
late.
yeah, I signed 2 years. I signed 3 years, but the 1 year is already out the window, um, and stuff like that. And now I got 2 more years left and things. I was supposed to be doing my 2 week training this week, but still not in the system yet. You know how the army is.
Oh yeah, hurry up and wait.
Yeah. But all right, well, never further ado. First thing first, I want you to tell me about yourself a little, give the viewers, on this side, um, a chance to know who you are and things like that.
I'm the wild man of Borneo, born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland,
Hmm.
and Aries, April 1st, of course.
Hmm.
Wrestled for several years. Ah, went to the army, signed up for the army in '99. Did about 10 years. Went to Operation Iraqi Freedom for 18 months.
Hmm.
Was a part of the quick reaction team or
Hmm.
force, the QRF over there.
Hmm.
Did a lot of VIP security, convoy protection, a little bit of observations, and a little bit of acquiring targets and shit like that. You gotta love it.
Yes. So first thing first, my first question to you, is so tell me your thought process on the day you decided, I'm going to join the army or any branches at that time.
Um, I didn't know it at the time, but I was the fourth generation of my family to go. My father, my grandfather, my great grandfather served in conflicts, theaters of war, if you will.
So you're basically a legacy man.
Oh yeah, didn't even know it, but I was looking for a little bit of adventure, a little bit of
Mm.
sex and danger, as they say, and
Can't
I
lie
wanted to
about
do
that.
something. I wanted to do some stuff that the average person couldn't do or won't do.
Hmm.
So
Yes.
that's also a blessing.
Okay. So now that you decided, why did you pick the Army over the other branches?
Well, I was too smart to be a Marine. I'm just joking. My dad's a Marine, but I was heavily influenced by GI Joe. Yes, '80s cartoon propaganda. Gotta love it.
Yes.
And I was also in the Army ROTC when I went to Lake Clifton Eastern for high school. So I
Okay.
had a lot of influence going with that.
Okay. Okay. So, you did the you said the ROTC?
Yeah, the JROTC in high school.
Oh, the JROTC. Okay. Okay. Just to be clear.
I
Okay.
was
That's
in
good.
ROTC in college. Didn't finish, but eh, it all worked out.
Yeah. Yeah. That's um. That's my next question is how did you go about talking to your recruiter and finding a job, and what was your overall recruitment process at the time?
The recruitment process was pretty smooth. You have to basically believe half of what you, not what you hear, half of what you see. Always believe what's in writing.
Mhm,
That's one thing everybody kept telling me prior service. It was pretty
mhm,
smooth, They got you on the pre-ASVAB, got you up in the MEPS.
mhm,
Make sure that everything about you didn't piss dirty. You were healthy enough to join.
mhm.
Didn't didn't have any STDs.
Yeah.
So you got to go to that creepy old doctor that grabs your balls.
It's still the same. It's still the
Uh,
same.
I mean, they get like, are you old and creepy? Yep. Grab his balls.
And you know what? I don't know why the doctors love doing that. It's
Come
male
on, Justice,
doctors.
go.
I don't know why the male doctors love it so much.
I don't know. Maybe it was a female doctor. I feel a little bit better about it. But I guess, but I guess that's the reason why they don't,
Hmm.
because they rather have the creepy doctor than you poke her in the eye or something. If you get what I mean. But
Yeah, that's crazy. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so since you was with your recruiter, how was your MEPS process? And tell me about your MEPS process and what did you want? What was your job that you wanted to do and things like that?
well, my first job was in the quartermaster. I was in laundry and supplies, and then
God,
I went the basically support and supplies and all that shit.
mm-hmm.
So quartermaster corps huh? That was my first one. Then I went to MP. So so basically the mess process is the longest day of your fucking life. For anybody who wants to join, it is the
Yeah,
longest day of your life.
yeah.
You're basically in a room. Go here, take this folder. This preparing you for the military. Take this
Mm-hmm.
damn folder and go to this room and have a bunch of people poke and prod you.
Wow.
Take this folder, check this, piss in this cup. You ate pretty good though. They fed you well.
Yeah, 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 they did.
I can never say they never fed you, but they'll feed you well. So
So,
it was an interesting process. You got to see how a lot of these guys, big burly guys, sailors, soldiers, airmen, and marines, with
mm-hmm,
tattoos and all kinds of crazy shit. As a matter
mm-hmm,
of fact, I went in. I joined so long ago.
mm-hmm,
Let's say if I wanted to come back, I'm still under the clause where I can still get tattoos.
mm. So you said what year did you go in again?
99.
Okay, so that's going back to the title of this show. It's called Old Army Talk, right? So how is it the army from '99 that you know of compares to the army of today?
Well, I might piss off some of the new soldiers.
Do it. Do it. You feel free. No gloves.
It's gotten soft.
Yeah.
And this is what happens when we talked about earlier about the participation trophy generation.
Hmm?
So when you have the participation trophy generation, well, don't scream at them. I need a stress card. You're a
Oh,
soldier.
they did that back then?
Oh no. I went
Oh,
to
okay.
Fort Benning, Georgia. They would dare not do that.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
they would dare not do that. So when I heard about these stress cards, I said the only stress you had was when your drill sergeant put his foot up your ass, figuratively and literally.
So, so the drill sergeants back then, they actually could put hands on you. That's what you're saying.
Unofficially.
Oh, hey, you don't got to tell me twice. I already know.
Unofficially. And even if you did tell the commander, nobody gave a fuck.
Yeah,
And when I went to Fort Benning, it was all male.
yeah,
So you got trained. You couldn't pass with bullshit standards. You had to pass the infantry standards.
yeah.
You got to
Infantry.
understand. My commanding officer in basic was an Army Ranger. His XO was a Ranger, was airborne Ranger, and a
Damn.
Green Beret.
So, damn, Jack just decorated.
Yeah, you had a bunch of all my drill sergeants were war vets from the Gulf War,
Mm,
just off to the point of festivity. My senior drill was an infantryman.
mm,
My other drill was an artillery, and the other
mm,
drill was a medic.
mm.
So you learn how to shoot very well. You learn how to blow shit up very well. And you learn how to patch a motherfucker up.
Damn. Yeah, because if you're in the infantry, you got to know it all. Because once you leave that fight, once you leave that area and go to the enemy yourself, you got to know how to do it
Yeah,
all.
yeah. And it's funny because I look back on it and it felt wrong, but it was very enjoyable because you earned every goddamn thing you did.
Mm.
Nobody took it easy. Fighting was encouraged. It
Yeah,
was
I got to show you.
actually
I think I showed you. I think I got to show you a video later on about that part.
fighting was definitely encouraged. It was a small joke. I'll say that.
Hmm. So let me ask you this: why did you wanted to pick the infantry over other what they call now soft MOSs?
Well,
Why
I
you
was
wanted to be
quarter.
hard?
Well, I was quartermaster, but
Hmm.
you got trained as infantry when you were Fort Benning, so it didn't
Yeah.
matter. See, I went the quartermaster, which was fun because I didn't even know they were. I didn't even realize they were female soldiers, even though duh, because you were
Mhm.
stuck with so many men until you went to Fort Lee.
Yeah.
So when I reclassed as MP, because it was a quicker training because we're in Iraq,
Hmm.
it was like, okay, I could do this tactical shit. I could do this.
Okay. Yeah, because when I was trying to find out my job and things like that and where I wanted to go, I really didn't have much options of where I wanted because of my ASVAB score at the time. And
Uh-huh.
like you say, you did wanted to do laundry and supplies, right?
Yeah.
That sounds so easy. I looked at the video, sounds so easy. The AIT was what, almost 6, 7 weeks, or not even that. Like it was a small AIT, so I was like, hopefully when I get out of basic, I can get out. But they
Yeah.
didn't have that job at the time.
Uh-huh.
So you went in 99, year of 99. What month did you go in?
June.
So you went in the dead heat of damn freaking Georgia. Woo! Bless your heart.
Bless my heart. Other people say bless your heart, but every day I was like, when that heat hit, it was like, fuck my life.
Yeah. So I don't
So,
know how they did it back then, but I know now we have phases like red, white, and blue phases. Did y'all have red, white, and blue phases?
oh yeah,
Okay. And
oh
was
yeah.
yours basic trade OSET or just a regular 10 weeks and then you go do your AIT somewhere else?
See, you guys got the 10 weeks because y'all did I believe, the urban warfare.
No, we didn't even do
So,
urban warfare.
oh man, because they increased it because you got to think, man, that's
Hmm.
been what 20, 21 years ago.
Yeah.
So so a lot of stuff they were adding in because you got to think. I was in for about what 2 years when 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
So when 9/11 happened, the doctrine of training changed because we were still under jungle warfare and partially unconventional.
Hmm.
And then that's when it
Explain
all.
that to me. The you said the training has changed. Explain that in depth.
Well, the training changes due to the threats that occur. Usually, like let's take let's take the Revolutionary War, the Civil War.
Yeah.
If you think about it, those two wars were pretty much fought the same way.
Yeah.
They were pretty much fought the same way. You stand on one line, we stand on another, and we shoot at each other at a fucking volley.
Hmm.
When World War II happened, we had the occupied spaces, and that's where you started like the beginning of special operations. Even though the Rangers go back to the Revolutionary War, basically, but that's when you started seeing the modernization of special operations or a certain set of Raiders, Green Berets, or Frogmen.
Hmm.
And when my father went to Vietnam, you had jungle warfare, which means you couldn't be in the traditional, hey, we're going to stand here and fight a volley. You dealt with jungle and unconventional. And this one, because we were invading cities basically or occupying them,
Hmm.
you had to do urban warfare, similar to like a police unit, because you had to go clear the house, and God only knows what the hell you had to find. Because notice they started making the rifle barrel shorter so you can maneuver quicker between houses
Mm.
and then inside of houses. So you had more of an urban warfare. That's why you had some police departments teaching soldiers and soldiers teaching police departments different tactics because
Mm.
police officers, which you
Yeah,
find
they
out
do
very
that a lot.
quickly, we do it
Yeah.
a lot. You
Yeah, they do
know,
it a lot.
if you had to interact with people, you had to be more of a diplomat or you had to be more of an investigator, like a police officer, and such in such aspects.
So, summarize your basic training for me before we go to the nitty gritty of your overseas tours and stuff like that. So, was your basic training for you?
Hell, so good stuff. Uh, it was fun, but it was also hellish
Why is
because
that?
number one, it was fucking hot. You had that red-headed spotted woodpecker that had more rank than the post fucking general.
Hmm.
You shoot the tree the motherfuckers on, not the actual woodpecker. That was like what, a $2,000, $20,000 fight. I forget the actual number.
Oh, you talk about the real woodpecker.
Yeah, the
Oh, wow.
red-headed spotted woodpecker. If you see the tree with a white line, you shoot it, you get fined like a motherfucker.
Wow.
Antarctica 15.
For
And
real?
oh yeah, don't ever shoot in there. So we had some really good training, and
Hmm.
I like it because young men, especially young black men, aren't allowed to be aggressive.
Hmm.
And basic training, it allowed you to be aggressive. It allowed you to try to be the best that you could be.
Hmm.
You know, everybody wanted to wrestle. Everybody wanted to box, do some type of hand-to-hand combat,
Hmm.
which is a plus, by the way. And nobody really whined or cared. It's like, could you do it? Could you match it?
Mm.
And you had some of the best. Even today, when I went to the range with my rifle, there's a joke. There's a little target where the targets when you go to the gun range where you have the
Yeah, yeah.
suspect with the gun and he's holding the lady hostage.
You shoot
And
the
like,
lady and the hostage.
yeah, and I put the target down around 25, 50 meters in the range. And I told my friends, I said $10, I could hit him right here in the thigh pits. So each hit you seen when I was aiming. It was all the way in his eyes, his brain stem, and all that shit.
Damn.
And they were like, dude, like, how long it take you to zero? Zero what? I don't need to zero. Shit, if you can shoot, you can shoot. So,
Yeah.
they taught you how to shoot very well. So if somebody's in 25, 50 meters, I'm gonna put you to down before you even know it. I mean, especially when they make you focus on practicing to the 200 yards and the 300 yards, they just made you practice that shit.
Yeah, they
They
made
were
you
anal,
practice that a lot.
they
Yeah.
were anal retentive. They said you're gonna be an infantryman first, your MOS second.
Yeah, literally. Literally.
So it was fun, you going through hell, you missing your family, you're missing your girlfriends.
Nah, she was with somebody else at the time. I
You
know
know,
that.
as your first sergeant would tell you in his first meeting with you, don't worry about your girl back home. She gonna be the same way you left her, freshly fucked.
True, true, true. So did you have any um firearm practice before coming into the service?
Oh hell no! I
Why is that?
wish.
No, okay.
My parents didn't want that.
Oh, okay, okay.
My parents didn't want that, so it was like it was chills, but I'm kind of glad I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So it was easy to teach me their way of shooting, so I
Hmm.
didn't have to clear up anything. So that's pretty cool.
And also, did you have any beefs with anybody in basic training at all?
Oh fuck yeah!
Explain.
Oh, it was this one motherfucker from Memphis, Tennessee. This motherfucker fucked it up for everybody when it came to Memphis, Tennessee, man.
Mm.
Like, shit, he was about what? At the time, I only weighed, like, I was a 5'8". I grew 2 more inches, 5'10" now. But I was only like 185. I was wrestling at 170, so, I didn't have to cut weight as much. So
Hmm.
I was about 180, 185, and he was like 6'2", 6'3",
Hmm.
220, 230 pounds of muscle.
Mm.
My hip flex and both his biceps look like two extra heads.
Damn.
And this motherfucker wanted to be a bully. Like, you can't take the bullies. You can take the bully out of school, but you can't take the school out of excuse me, you can take the bully out of the school. Whatever. I try to make it same classic. But
I
guess
know
what?
what you mean. You know what I mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah. But the motherfuckers try to carry the street into basically.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he wanted to be a hood nigga and try to bully people. Like he wanted to be like young Devo, like, yo, I got a letter from my girl. No, I got a letter from your girl.
Damn.
I mean, that's how he would treat motherfuckers. And the worst part about it, we were bunk mates for the first.
So
And
who had top bunk?
oh, I had John Paul like that.
Yeah, I'm
And
playing about that.
and it was funny because the dude tried me one time and he tried to wrestle with me and I'm like ranked number 5 in the state. I was ranked number 3 in Germany. I got a bronze medal in freestyle wrestling in Germany. And I
Mm,
was number 2 in freestyle in the state of Maryland. Like if I wanted to continue, I would actually qualify for nationals, but
mhm.
basic training called. Ain't that a bitch?
Oh
so
wow.
so if I didn't show up, I would go to jail. So hey, basic
Don't
training
be
it
like I
is.
never got it.
And this guy tried me one time because he thought he could outmuscle me, and I wasn't a weak guy. I'm not as strong as I am now. I'm like goddamn bench pressing like fucking trucks now and shit. But
Mm,
I wasn't weak, and my technique was, uber. You
mm,
know, so one time he tried to wrestle me, and plus I was into MMA too.
mm,
So I wrestled him, put him on the ground, and put him in a rear naked choke, and I made him tap out.
mm,
Then he tried to go for something else, so I put him in an arm bar.
mm,
The next part.
mm.
Shoot. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you good.
Yeah, and we just had an antagonistic relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, like some bullies, he got to gain strength and
Mm-hmm.
numbers, so he would start some homeboys and shit, try to antagonize people.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst part about it is that people like him, they got to get the gang together. You know, always taking the street. That's the one thing I always hated. That you take some of these street motherfuckers who want to carry street mentality into the military,
Mm-hmm.
which you're trying to get away from all that shit when you join.
Yeah, you
You're
don't want
trying
to
to
be in
become a
war.
man. You're trying to become a professional. You're trying to become a soldier.
Mm-hmm.
So we went on this company run.
Oh.
We ran for at least about 12, 15 miles. I swear to God, it was the longest run of my fucking life.
Mm.
Like it was the run that never fucking ended.
Mm.
And of course, you're running 12 to 15 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Anything,
And
you
this
know
is
it's
Benning.
long. And Fort Benning's on the fucking hills, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Like when you run for so fucking long, the drill sergeant said if you didn't fall out, pat yourself on the fucking back. That's a man's run. That's about 12, 15 miles.
Damn.
And I catch him stealing out of my wall locker.
Mm-hmm.
So he pushes me.
Mm-hmm.
So I push him back naturally. So he hits me with a right cross.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm smiling at him because he hit me soft and I hit him right back square in the nose.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him you hit like a bitch. Wow. So he rushes me. You don't rush a wrestler. So I kind of belly to belly suplex him into the wall locker beside us. Next thing you know, we're on the ground rumbling. I'm
Okay.
on top of him. Got my legs locked like a grapevine, so he can't get up. So I'm just
Mm-hmm.
tucking him with fucking lefts and rights, you know. Look like I'm shining his shoes with his head. So
Mm-hmm.
his homeboy, who he claims he's trying to break us up, but he's only grabbing me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm still got my legs locked around him, so he can't get up. And I'm telling him like, bitch, I'm right-handed anyway. I'm still
Damn.
hitting him. Then my homeboy comes up there like, yo, what's the fuck going on? So he pushes dude off, and next thing you know, I'm still hitting this guy, and we have like half the fucking the platoon out there breaking us up. And
Mm-hmm.
this is inside the bay, right? Because we just showered and everything. So I had one guy on one leg, one guy on another, one guy here, another guy on my arm, just so he's the same way. And I had to apologize to my boy Hunt because I wear a size 12 regular. So the guy said, I'm going to spit on you. I said, I want to see you do it, motherfucker. So I kicked the guy in the face and almost kicked Hunt too.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time, we switched with someone else for bunkmates because we were going to end up killing each other, literally.
Mm-hmm.
And come to find out, it was a little secret too, by the way, through the drill sergeants, because the drill sergeants know we didn't like each other at all.
So why they
So,
bunk y'all together?
huh?
So why they bunk y'all together?
Let's see who would win the fight.
Oh, so they had like a bet.
Uh-huh.
Mm-mm.
And come to find out, they didn't tell us till graduation day. And he was talking to my dad, and he said, and my dad was talking to the first sergeant, Whitehorn, black guy with green eyes with a Native American name. Ain't that a
Damn.
So he's like, hey, what's your name? And you know, my father's an old Marine from Vietnam. So he's like, yeah, what's your name? Oh, he's like, my name's Charles Faulkner Sr. I was like, oh, God. He's like, what happened? What'd he do now? He's like, your son's a crazy motherfucker. He's the only motherfucker who take the biggest motherfucker in the company and whoops his ass. And then the one drill sergeant who was a medic, he's the only person who had money on me,
Mm.
and he probably made approximately $2,000 to $3,000 on that bet
Mm-hmm.
that I would win the fight.
Wow.
And the guy tried me one last time in Fort Benning, not Fort Benning, Fort Lee,
Mm-hmm.
where he tried to sneak me, so I threw him over my shoulder like a shoulder throw, like an arm throw,
Mm-hmm.
arm barred him, and had my like I had his arm locked, sitting up, and he's on the ground, my knee on his head, and
Mm-hmm.
my hand on his throat while I had his other arm interlocked with the other arm. And I said, dude, I will make it look like a fucking accident if you fuck with me one more time.
Wow.
And I had him lift and I actually gripped his Adam's apple, his windpipe.
Mm.
And after that, he called me sir. You thought I was the fucking post commander or something.
Wow.
So yeah, that was my nice time at Fort Benning. I got in more fights at Fort Benning than I did in 4 years of high school. Ain't that a bitch?
Shit. So now let's shift gears a little bit further down. Tell me about the day, what happened to you when you found out 9/11 happened.
I can tell you exactly that day. I will never forget it. I was in the middle of one of my math classes at Coppin State College back then. That was university. That tells you how long ago it was.
Mm-hmm.
Um, of course, in Baltimore, Maryland, one of the HBCUs besides Morgan, and I
Mm-hmm.
believe Bowie. I think Bowie, but definitely Morgan and Coppin. But the point
Mm-hmm.
is, I was up Coppin, and next thing you know, we were being released early, and I'm like looking at the monitors, the little TV screens they had up there,
Yeah, the
and I'm
big
looking
backs.
like, wow, yeah, the big backs, like the big girls you see up in the club, the big backs. Um, and I'm looking at the screen, and I'm like, wow, that's one hell of a movie, man. Look at the graphics on this bitch.
Yeah.
And somebody whispered to me, that ain't no movie, dude. That's New York.
Mm.
You shitting me? And that's when the first plane hit.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time I got home, the second plane just boom into the next building.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my God. I
So
started
you,
packing my rucksack. I started
oh, so
packing
you,
my duffel bag and my rucksack.
so you already knew what the business was.
Oh yeah, I knew we were leaving.
Yeah.
I knew we were gonna. I knew something like, I knew something was going down, and I just started packing my rucksack. I said, look, I don't know what it is, but I know we're gonna be going.
Okay. And what was your duty station once you find out, all of this stuff happened? And what did you do once you left the
Uh,
state?
we went to Fort Dix, New Jersey, for
Mm-hmm.
training,
Mm-hmm.
and this is when Operation Iraqi Freedom One just took off,
Mm-hmm.
and we were in training to go over. And
Mm-hmm.
we thought we were going to leave, but we trained for 6 months. Come to find out, even though I had my 21st birthday, I actually missed my 21st,
Mm.
my 22nd, and my 23rd.
Okay.
So we went back home. Then we got mobilized again to train a few more months, and then we officially left. I got orders December 3rd, 2003,
Mm-hmm.
and we went to Kuwait. We actually flew out to Germany first. Then we flew to, where we go? We went to Ireland.
Mm.
Then we flew to Ireland to Kuwait.
Mm-hmm.
Then we went to, like, my unit, actually my part of the unit flew over to Iraq
Mm-hmm.
to unload them. Some people actually had to drive a convoy into Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
So once we got there with the unit,
Mm-hmm.
they had us in force protection. They sent some of us to force protection, and I was in the guard tower. And
Mm-hmm.
anybody who knows me, I hate sitting in one place at one time for 8 hours. And I was like, "Who's those guys chasing those insurgents? Oh, that's the QRF. How do you become a QRF? You got a trial for it. Sign me up."
Mm-hmm.
And the rest was history.
Mm-hmm. Now I want to take a pause here, Officer Charles, because I'm trying to do something different this time.
Hmm.
Um, I'm going to change the title too. So remember, the title is "Old Army Talks with Charles." I have a special guest also in the chat also waiting, and I think I might change it to Old Army Talk with Charles and New Army Talk with Drew. So I'm going to bring Drew up
Cool.
and tell him his side of the story and stuff like that, and bring both of y'all back up for a Q&A.
Okay, cool.
Hold on one second. Gotta wait for him to pop back up. 1 second. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, while we doing that, I'm waiting for him to come back. He was just in the back chat and just said he was gonna pop in. Okay. All right. Well, continue your story until he pops back into the live stream, officer.
Okay. I'll talk a little bit more about the QRF where
Yeah. Go ahead.
we were a little bit of ragtag. It's funny as hell because we had to try out. You had to be able to shoot. You had to be able to run. You had to be physical. And we trained like a motherfucker. You had to train building clearance. You had to train for spotting IEDs. And sometimes, you had to, if you stepped on one or somebody stepped on one, you had to be able to disable some of them. I'm not saying we're EOD. No, we're not. But some things you had to be on the watch for. We had to do some observation and reconnaissance. We had to do perimeter security. If there was a convoy 30 miles out and we were the closest, we would go out there to rescue. If the base was attacked, we would mobilize as quickly as possible, and we would engage the enemy. If we, as a matter of fact, I guess I can speak about this. We had to rescue a Marine tank crew in Fallujah. And if you knew Fallujah at that time, it'd take you about 8 hours to either capture a block, or sometimes it might take you 8 hours to capture a house, depending on how many insurgents are fighting. It was very heavy fighting. And imagine going down your highway, like 95, with the only lights are the rear of your vehicle, the rear vehicles, and the front vehicles in front of you. So that's successfully, we rescued the guys, and the only way you could tow a tank is with another fucking tank.
True.
And we got them out there safely. And next thing you know, I hear whizzing, and I feel heat come right beside me. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? Like, I thought it was like a bumblebee whizzing. And kind of find out it was the bullets that some snipers were trying to hit us. And they were like, and I'm the 50 cal gunner. So, they try to hit the gunners as much as possible. And I remember my boy Sledge, like, Faulkner, get down, they got snipers. I was like, motherfucker, I've been down for 10 minutes. The fuck you mean? Oh, trust me, I would have, if I could actually see that motherfucker, I'd have tore his ass apart with that 50 cal. The mob deuce, bitch. Like, but yeah, we just had, and it was like you had none of the black guys on the thing. We had MP5s. Usually we'll put them on the steering wheels where the driver could just, in case somebody come up there and try to attack the driver, all he had to do was just pull the trigger and that motherfucker would cease to exist. We had a guy next to him with an AR-10 with a scope, which basically is a fucking sniper rifle at that point. The two guys in the bottom, in the rear driver's side and the rear passenger side had M249s. The one guy who sat directly behind me, he was a 249 gunner, and I was the 50 cal gunner. We had 2 to 3 AT4s, tank killers. I had over 2 to 3,000 rounds of 50 caliber, including my 210 standard issue.
That's crazy.
So, and we had 2 other vehicles. We had one vehicle, their gunner, which had the same. I'm not going to go through each one because they had the same armaments, except the gunners. One was a Mark 19, so that was a grenade launcher that shoots a machine gun rate. And the other had an old school but old reliable M60, 7.62 machine gun. Good times. Matter of fact, we did some of the most amazing shit. We were called the Black Car because everybody except the one guy in our team was black, and the one white guy, he was from Iowa, but we gave him a wave cap, and somehow with enough hair grease and enough 360 grease, we gave them up for the waves. We shaped them up and gave them waves.
Wow, he never had waves before?
Well, the white guy, he never had waves before. So shit, the white boy had waves. Probably got some half black children out there somewhere.
Hold on, Charles. want to say what's up to DeAndre. I got him this interview on Wednesday on Navy Talk.
Oh yeah, what's up, DeAndre? DeAndre and myself go back some years as well.
Oh
You know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
we
And
wrestled
DeAndre, if
like
you got some time to jump on right quick, you can. I heard, I know about your days, but the viewers don't.
oh yeah, we go back about 20 some odd years, 20 plus years. And that was before any of us thought about joining the service. That was just wrestling. We wrestled.
Yeah.
We actually wrestled in the championship finals.
Oh wow. So
So
who
crazy
won?
times. I'll let DeAndre explain that.
DeAndre, what happened, man? Please tell me you whipped him. Please tell me. Officer Charles calling you out like that on YouTube. You know it's
Hey.
recorded, right?
He was a great challenger. That was one of my greatest rivals.
Okay,
Actually, one of my first rivals. I mean, shit. I mean,
okay.
he was and still is strong as a fucking ox, man. If the motherfucker had a horse and buggy, and the horse passed out, he put the fucking horse on his back and carried the buggy in his teeth.
Damn. DeAndre, that's strong?
Yeah, he's that strong. It
Damn.
was like anytime you try to pin him, that's the one guy I know who could crush you. And I was a solid 170. I mean, fucking arm muscle. And he would just crush you with one arm and throw you off.
Damn.
And you like, yeah, it was one of those times you're like, yeah, you in for a fight, man. You in for a fucking fight.
Damn. So y'all trying to do a rematch up?
Well, we old men now, but maybe one day. Maybe
Uh-huh.
one day for the Senior Citizen Wrestling Championship.
Oh, okay. All right, let's get back on track now. Okay, now explain to me more of your days in overseas and stuff like that. Actually, my question to you before that is how long did you serve? And what was your
10
rank?
years. 10 years. I was a specialist. I was putting in for sergeant, but things were so fucking political. It kind of demoralized me a little bit because I was like, oh fuck this.
Damn, I think you said 10 years. You should have been at least an E6 by then. Was the
Well,
rank structure different in back then than it is now?
yeah, especially when you're in different units of who you know and who's putting your paperwork in.
Oh, okay.
And if you're not one of the favorites putting your paperwork in, somehow it gets lost.
Oh,
Imagine that, right?
yeah. Trust me, I already know about paperwork. You ain't tell me no lies.
Oh, we lost. It was lost. We can't find it. Bitch, it's still in your desk.
Literally, I see it. My name's literally right there. It's under your coffee.
Like really. And I still say it's I still look at my military career as enjoyable. Even in the Iraq time, 18 months. I mean, I've seen some things. I've seen some ugly things. I've seen the best of humanity and the worst of humanity.
Are you willing to discuss?
Um, I had a buddy of mine,
Mm-hmm.
Washington. He's from D.C.
Mm-hmm.
And he was working, and we were on call. Basically, when you're QRF, you're doing patrols like the police. You're doing
Mm.
at certain times of the day. You're doing patrols. You'll go early in the morning to make sure the village ain't fucked up or nobody's trying to fuck with the villagers. And next thing you know, we hear mortar attacks, and we gear up. Like, put it to you this way: when we first geared up for QRF, when they were training us to take over for the last QRF, we were right. They considered that shit slow. For 7 minutes would have been slow to get all your gear and all your weapons in place. We got it down to a science to less than 3 minutes.
How
Actually,
so?
2. Because you basically had all your shit where it needed to be, like your weapons. We had it down to a science, how to make it more efficient and quicker. Like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
here's your gear. You didn't have to look forward. You knew where it was all the time. You put it in the same place, blah, 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 blah. Got it quick
Mm-hmm.
and you're out. So we got it down to a science. So literally one time, I'll finish this story real quick.
Okay.
And we went over there. We heard the mortars. As soon as we went over there, you could tell by the unit patch. As you know, in the military, your unit patch is basically your ID of where you belong to which unit.
Yeah.
And I saw the patches, and I was like, please, Lord, don't let it be somebody I know. And exactly, it was somebody I knew. It was about 5 people were injured by the mortar attack. And my buddy Washington, he had to get a steel rod put in his right arm because his bones were shattered.
Mm.
So he went back home. And when I came home to visit him, because during wartime they send you back for 2 weeks so you don't fucking lose your brain cells and start shooting yourself or anybody else.
Mm.
I went to visit him, and he's doing well. I believe he's married with children right now. I got to
Mm-hmm.
contact him. It's been a while, but he's doing well. I'm
Okay.
proud of him. And the second story I was going to tell you, we got about how fast we were as a team. We had at least 10 to 12 mortars come inside the perimeter.
Mm-hmm.
We were so quick to go over to the other side where the first cab is, and the first cabs are snobs. I love the first cab, but they can be snobbish.
Mm-hmm.
We were there so quick in full uniform. Their QRF on their side were in PT gear,
Mm.
and they showed up like 5 minutes after us.
Mm.
And we were rescuing people and pulling them out of burning buildings and everything. And we were trying to get medical and emergency units over there to help out.
Mm-hmm.
We saved all the people we could except one person because he was at impact basically
Mm.
ground zero. So there was
Damn.
nothing we could do for him. And here comes this 1-star general, trying to come through. We said, sir, all due respect, we're trying to get all these people out. Listen, private, you see this star? We saluted him and said, you go right ahead, sir. And the funniest part about it, that same 1-star later that week came, and he had his head down.
Mm-hmm.
So out comes this Humvee, comes a 3-star general,
Mm-hmm.
and the 3-star general made the 1-star apologize to us because he was bitching us out during an emergency scene.
Mm.
And he told us, he's like, oh, y'all the Viper team. He was like, yes, sir. He was like, we heard about y'all. I was like, you did? Yeah, y'all the best QR for this country.
Mm.
So we were highly requested to when generals or high ranking officials and let's say quotation marks, maybe the Senate
Mm-hmm.
would come over to check on things, or people who are highly involved in the DOD who
Mm-hmm.
are high ranking. We were basically their bodyguards.
Wow. That's crazy.
And plus, I loved it, man. It was like we had the most dangerous job on the post, and we had the only flushing toilets on the post. Well, the only running showers, regular running showers, flushing toilets, and people left us the fuck alone.
Mm.
People left
Oh,
us alone.
oh, I forgot to ask when we first started. Did you have an I know you said you did 10 years. How many times did you renew your contract?
Once.
Okay. Now, did you get a bonus at MEPS and did you get a reenlistment bonus?
Yeah, I got a
Okay.
realistic bonus for about
Yeah, I
two
don't know.
stacks.
I know. I don't want to talk about your money. I just wanted to let the viewers know that you can
That's
get a
26.
reenlistment
You can get
bonus.
a, you can get one. I mean, the shit, dude. Oh man, and at that time when I got my, it was like a good amount, but now,
Uh-huh.
man, shit, y'all get like good God bonuses to stay. Please stay.
Mm.
So
They just
y'all doing well.
So you think the infantry get better bonuses or better comfort of living than the other MOSs?
It depends on your MOS. I'm pretty sure infantry will get it because of the dangers of their job, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the highly technical jobs, which hardly anybody can qualify for, will get great bonuses as well.
Hmm.
Like I remember, like they were giving special forces guys what 120,000 to $200,000 bonuses to stay because
Wow.
they had to compete with the private contractor
Hmm.
companies, the
Wow.
PMCs, the private military contractors. So they had to compete with those guys.
So would you think? So what do you know about the special forces and stuff like that? And because what I was taught from basic is just the army, just itself, and then it's a step above the army, which is like special forces and delta forces and all going up top. Like that's elite of elites. They
Well,
the one you
I,
call at midnight.
well, I had a few buddies, and even in QRF, we had to work with special forces. I am not
Mhm.
special forces, just letting people know, but I work with some of them. Some of the most amazing people you'll ever see in your life. Because
Mm,
special forces can come from any walk of life, be any
mm,
shape, any race, any creed, any religion, and they will blend into anybody. Matter of fact, we had a little showdown at the gate, and we saw these guys dressed in hijabs and all this shit, and
mhm.
they coming out the car with rifles, and we pull their rifles, and they pull their rifles on us, and they're like, "Hey, we're SF." I'm like, "Oh
Mm,
shit!" Like you guys are good. Like we didn't think y'all were fucking American at all,
mm,
and those guys can do it all. And to basically tell you what the list is this. You have guys who go into special forces. Sometimes you got guys who, what is it? I forget, it's like 18 Alpha or 18X. I think 18
mhm.
Alpha is like what the officer. Don't quote me
Yeah,
on it because but
yeah, I think I remember it's X and it's X. I know for sure. 11X is the MOS. I just can't remember the other ones.
and basically you could go in as a special forces candidate. You
Mm-hmm.
have to do a pre-qualification to make sure you're fit enough to go to the actual schooling.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can be a communications expert, weapons expert, a field medic. A buddy of mine was the medical expert because basically when you're a special forces medic, you pretty much are capable of doing surgery on the battlefield.
Damn.
And if you look down, if some people who are from Baltimore or in a major city where you have shock traumas or any major hospitals, like those high tier hospitals, like a Johns Hopkins, like a University of Maryland shock trauma, you have you have people who in military uniforms, you'll have military doctors, and you'll also have special forces medics working within shock trauma, learning how to treat people with gunshot wounds, knife wounds, different cavitations, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll go through this training, and usually special forces training can be the training itself can be what 6 months to 9 months, and your specialized training within that could be another 6 months to 18 months,
Mm-hmm.
depending on your job specialty. And from what people have told me, they do a lot of training in Benning, they do a lot of training in, of course, Fort Bragg and places like that. Well,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got to think about it. A lot of these guys, like the Green Berets, the Recons, the PJs, the Rescues, you know, they intermingle their training. They all train together at some point.
Mm.
So, of course, when you have like the special forces, then you have what's called tier one because once you go to special forces, you're no longer a soldier or a sailor. You're an operator.
Mm.
So basically, that's what you are. You're an operator. So anything that's basically naval involved, of course, you're going to send the SEALs or anything like you saw. What's that movie with Tom Hanks?
Oh! I know what you're talking about. He was the captain now. Yeah, I know exactly what
Yeah,
you're
you
talking about.
had that. Anything like you're going to send SEAL Team Six or Delta Force, which is for the Army, and these aren't the official names, the quote unquote names, because everything about those motherfuckers are classified, and all the information we got about them is usually about 5, 10 years ago. So
I
they
heard
evolved.
from basic training that sometimes if you like in those like higher realms that they will just like take your identity away so nobody can find you or your family, and they'll give you just straight up cash to do everything you want with it.
Well, you're given cash in case you get lost and you can pay your way out. Like
Hmm.
here, let's say if you're in Somalia and you need a boat ride and cash talks, bullshit walks.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying in just one time. Once again, I've never been in special forces, but I have
Okay.
friends, but I know people who were, and they give me a little bit of their stories. As a matter of fact, a good buddy of mine, he owns a certain club. He was in, Delta
Mm-hmm.
for some time, and he told you about some stories. He's a weapon expert,
Mm.
and you see these guys who look like. I think everybody in the military are like real life superheroes, but these guys are like, you call them the fucking Avengers. When you're a superhero, he's a superhero. You call them motherfuckers,
Yeah.
and you'll see them do some miraculous shit. Unfortunately, there are some who lost their lives in battle. We're not invulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
We're all human. We may do some superhuman shit. And I
Mm-hmm.
look at some of those guys in the special hell. I look at a guy who's in fucking laundry and bath specialist, and he picks up a rifle and he defends and take down about 12 of the enemy, and he gives his life up for his comrades to escape. That's a fucking superhuman to me. That's a
Mm-hmm.
goddamn hero. It doesn't matter the rank or the job description. We all got a little hero in us all. So we may joke about, Navy or Air Force or Marines or Army, but at the end of the day, we all got each other's back. And trust me, when
Mm-hmm.
you see that American flag on somebody's fucking shoulder and they're coming to get you out of shit,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be the happiest fucking day of your life.
Oh wow. That's crazy. So, question for you, officer.
Hmm.
Did you go to the drill sergeant academy or thought about that?
I thought about it, but I was offered
Mm-hmm.
because when I went to my MP unit, I was offered.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to renege because my son was on the way, and that's when I got out the
Ah.
military. So
So you got
I'll go
oh
ahead.
my go ahead. No, you go ahead, you go ahead.
No, so I got out the military. My second contract was running out anyway. So I was like, you know what? I gave this place all that I could give. I gave them good years. Hell, I even went to war for these motherfuckers. I just want to be here and raise my son.
I feel you. So you said you just wanted to do that. Like, did you want to like redo another contract? 'Cause I know you say because you know you had your son. You know, some people once they have kids, they just stay in longer. And since you already did 10, did you want to do another like 4 or 5 or 10 more and just retire with that so you could take care of them better?
Oh hell no! Because at that time we were getting mobilized more and more often, and I was like, you know what? I can't
Hmm.
do this to him. I'd
Yeah.
rather be here for him and get out because I already did my time.
Okay.
So it's time to be a parent, and
Okay.
that's when I started looking for police departments. It's very
Okay.
similar, even though it's different. But hey, had to be a
Right.
parent.
Yeah, I feel you. Now you're home. So, how did your I don't know if you have one or not. How was your wife or girlfriend at the time handle all of this that you was in the military for that long?
Oh, I was single. Fuck that. I had girl. I had girlfriends and friends, but nothing significant.
Okay, okay. Kept your bread. That's a good thing. Like they said, keep your money.
Keep your money and be a Rolling Stone.
Okay, okay.
Like I, I've seen it all the time, and it's even to this day, it's a weird phenomenon. You'll see guys 18 years old get married, divorced by 21.
That's some stupid shit because that happened in my AIT. Some dudes be going to the PX on a Saturday or Sunday because that's our days off and be buying like
Mm-hmm.
250 rings. I was like, what? What?
Mm-hmm.
I oh my god.
Because they look for that extra money and those extra benefits, and then next thing you know, you and the girl don't like each other. You already had about two, three kids, and
Yeah,
you're gone, and you're mad because you're mobilized, and Jody's coming in to keep her warm while you cold in the field.
yeah, that's crazy. It is crazy that you do all of that. You did been a role model and stuff like that, but your girl back home is doing that stuff. Try to keep niggas away from your ass. Literally.
Mm-hmm.
That.
It's because two things: the most addictive drug to women is attention,
Uh-huh.
and boredom is the most dangerous object a woman can ever have.
Mm,
You could
wow.
literally, you could literally see it out every day.
It's crazy. All right. Well, since we're winding down now and on this interview, I was trying to get Drew on, but he said he had an important phone call, so I'll probably get a one-on-one with him at another time and try to get you and him together because I want to do a segment with old Army talk and the new Army talk, stuff like that. But right now, do you have any questions for me since I've been interviewing you for the last hour?
So how you like it so far in the military?
I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, all I know is I'm out of basic AIT. I go to my unit here, but it's only weekend things. Only there for like almost 8 hours. So I don't have the whole Army experience like you do. That's all I can say.
Like, trust me, tell them to give you a little extra responsibility. You'll definitely get the Army experience.
Yeah.
Just keep asking them about different trainings and never and keep going forward.
Okay.
And I know that your sister and all your people. I forget your sister's a police officer, right?
She's a probation officer, and the other one is Navy.
Okay. So everybody's carrying a gun in the family. I like that. I like that.
I,
I
I,
was,
I said the same thing. That's strange. I just got to get the other ones involved, but you know how they are.
I know they're so proud of you to see you.
Yeah. They my sister that's a probation officer. She said she could take me on the range. I was like, man, you don't want these problems.
So I
That's
take the bet. We'll put $20 on. I'll put it on my YouTube page. I tell her we take this damn rifle and we go blow for blow.
I said the same thing. I said the same thing. So
Tell her
I
Officer Faulkner issues a challenge.
okay,
Throwing down the gauntlet, and we'll put it
okay.
live on YouTube. Bing, bing, bing,
Shit,
bing, bing.
shit. I gotta come up there anyway. She's like 30 minutes south of Norfolk, Virginia. She's in Elizabeth City, so and I
Okay,
know
so
you're from Baltimore, so that's a little ways from
so
you. So
she's
once we
not
get the
that far.
logistics down, we'll
She's
figure out
about
stuff.
she's about 2 hours away, so it's not that
Yeah,
far.
she's about what, almost 6 hours from me. I think Bragg is like 5.5. I think so. I don't know.
Yeah,
Any closing thoughts?
let's tell her I'm willing to put 20. I'll put it up to $40 down. But
Okay.
nah, closing thoughts is I'm proud of you, man. I'm so happy when you told me you wanted to join the military. I was so proud of you. I tried to encourage you the best that I could. I'm so happy for you that you become the young good man that you are.
Mhm.
May the army treat you well,
Hope so. Yeah.
even though sometimes it's gonna give you hell. And
Hmm.
huh. And I like to also end it with a good old huh and a whoo.
no, and
So
a
definitely.
woo. Okay. Thank you, Officer Faulkner. I really do appreciate it. I'll hit you up in the
Thank
back
you.
chat in a second.
Thank you.
So that was Officer Charles Faulkner, officer of the goddamn law. Uh, talk about his old style of the army and things like that. So that was a good topic. If y'all do want to get Officer Faulkner's side, even if he's on the police side right now, y'all can hit him up in the description. His Facebook is there. I think he's going to give me his email, so I'll put his email in the description at a later date and time. And like I said, I really did appreciate him for coming on. And I was trying to get on Drew to get on, but I think that's going to be another date and time. And love, oh, he just sent me the email, so I'll put that in the description too. So, like I say always, good afternoon, good morning, and good night to your side of the town.